Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Zach, aka Keats39 here to bring you another NBA DFS slate. Another big, heavy game slate. Gonna get a lot of these on the second half of the year, unfortunately. Um, but this slate is gonna be very chalky, and it's gonna be I don't know, it's gonna be weird. Not I'm usually that Gator's a bigger fan of chalky slates than I am. Usually not my favorite type, but we'll see how it goes tonight. Um, so we're gonna do it a little different. Normally do our like five guys that are favorite at different positions. However, tonight, um, the news we already have is really making it like play four. I have four guys here, and there's one more I'm going to talk about. All right, so first we're gonna go with we'll start with Fred VanVleet. Kyle Lowry's just ruled out, which means Fred VanVleet's probably gonna play close to 40 minutes and be the ball dominant guy. Norman Powell also they got Gary Trent, who's a pretty good scorer. But it's going to be Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam mainly running the point with Malachi Flynn off the bench. Will probably play 10 minutes and get that. Thought he'd get a little more last time this happened, but he didn't. So pretty much going to be all in, or not all in on Fred VanVleet. So what I'm going to say is I'll probably have like five different lineups running all these combos. Just because I don't want to be like, wish I had that one. Because I didn't play one guy that I loved, but just didn't play him because of other guys. So gonna run all these guys. Probably try to run all the combos. But yeah, you're gonna get close to 20 shots. Um, so his peripherals are like he's gonna score you a lot of points. He gets a great match against OKC, who's gonna be terrible. Probably right there with the Magic for worst team, especially when they don't have SGA. Um, but yeah, they're gonna turn the ball over a lot, which is nice for him. He is a good defender, can get steals and rack them up. Should get a lot of open threes, which he likes to shoot. Um, so he is probably my least favorite, just because it's a lot harder for him to get value than the other guys. But I still do love him. Um, yeah, no Lowry. It's just that team, especially after trading Powell, is they're and they've been awful this year. So, um, but next we'll go into the situation with Utah. We already know there's no Donovan Mitchell. Um, Let me make sure that hasn't changed. Yep. With that being said, we've had a lot of times this year where Mike Conley has rested, and we've seen that offense. Really haven't seen the offense without Donovan Mitchell. But it's gonna be a lot different than when Mike Conley misses, because you still have that one super ball dominant guy in Donovan Mitchell, who is just the superstar, and he gets a boost, as well as Joe Ingles normally, and Jordan Clarkson. So today you're going to need the scoring boost. And Jordan Clarkson is probably my favorite player on the slate, if not right there with these other guys. He gets the shooting guard eligibility, which is nice, as well as Van Vliet and Kevin Porter, I'll get to. But yeah, they need someone to score. He already takes 20 shots as it is. I have a hard time believing he doesn't get 20 shots. Gets a great match against Memphis. Um, and like we've seen him get up to like 6.5K. I don't know if it's been recently. Yeah. Because of games that Mike Conley has missed. He if Donovan Mitchell were to like have a season-ending injury, God forbid, you'd see Jordan Clarkson probably at 7K, because he'd probably average 30 points a game. So yeah, you're pretty much just clicking him, I think. Um, and then over to Mike Conley, he's had a really good year, made the All Star game, which I didn't think he deserved, but because it's not even one of his better years. Um, but yeah, you're gonna see him dominate the ball a lot more. Even it'll be interesting to see how he works with Joe Ingles in the lineup, because Joe Ingles, when he plays, is more of a point guard. So that works with Donovan Mitchell, who doesn't need the ball. He comes off screens, and they like to get him the ball to make the play from Joe Ingles. So it'll be interesting to see who dominates the ball more. I like him. I like Ingles a lot as well as Bogdanovich. I like all four of them. I guess might as well just keep going. I like Rudy Gobert too. Um, but yeah, I like all these guys, and I think that Mike Conley is going to have to be the play creator in the first unit. There was a chance that Valanciunas is really slow, so they could just run Joe Ingles and Rudy Gobert pick and rolls all day. Would not be surprised by that at all. But yeah, I think he's gonna have to shoot a lot more today. Like I think 15 shots is where they need him to be. And you get a nice little revenge game against his old team in the Grizzlies. Yeah, I just think like it's like the perfect time for Donovan Mitchell to sit one. And I could just see him also like posting close to double double as well. Okay, next guard is going to be Kevin Porter Jr. So this game's really, and this is going to be the game that's interesting. I guess the last guard I'm going to talk about is obviously James Harden. But John Wall's questionable, and it feels like every time he's questionable, he misses. Just with his prior injury history and his getting up there in age, plus the record, not really much reason to force him out there. So Kevin Porter Jr. has been awesome this year. He had a really bad game last time out. Hello? Yeah, but his minutes were awesome. Shots were awesome. Like, this is what I like to see more than this. That, like, this matters to me more than that. And Evan Gallagher, or I don't know why I said Mike Gallagher just put out a tweet showing how Kevin Porter's been without John Wall. And I think it's like almost 15 assists per game, or 15 assist opportunities per game, if I remember that correctly. And he gets the best possible matchup if this game can stay close against Brooklyn. I'd consider playing him if John Wall was playing. So that just shows you how much I love him if he were to sit. He's gonna dominate the ball, and I mean absolutely dominate. Like, you'll see Sterling Brown probably handle a little bit. Jayshawn Tate's a decent player, but nothing to celebrate really. But if this game stays close, it's gonna be because of him, and he'll put up 50 DK points. Honestly, that's what I'd probably project him for. So yeah, like his ceiling is way higher than a guy like Mike Connolly. Like, he's just as good of a player as Fred VanVleet. Yeah, and then on the other side, James Harden is playing like out of his mind, as you can expect. He gets to the little revenge game against Houston. We saw what he did last time, 29, 14, 10, and it's going to be like the same exact lineup pretty much. There's no KD, and he had Kyrie, which is what we expect tonight. And then just to show you what Kevin Porter has the opportunity to do, even this game wasn't close, but Oladipo put up 33, 7 and 5. John Wall 36, 5 and 2. Like, this game is the opportunity to get nuts. So James Harden, as you can expect, is going to have the highest ceiling on the slate, even more so than I was confused for a second. Even more so than Giannis, even though Giannis is in a great spot as well. So it's going to be chalky players, so it's going to really come down to picking the right ones, which is going to be tough. As all 5 of those guys are awesome plays. It's really gonna, like, you have to nail the forwards. That's where you're gonna be different. And there's a lot of guys in play with forwards too. But these guys almost feel like, well, almost all of them feel like they're locks for 5x. Maybe not Fred VanVleet, but I still feel very confident he hits that. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting slate. As always, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm sure we'll get more news. So be around at lock later.